Mickey Beignets, African savannas, and private fireworks views? The best Disney World restaurants aren't in the theme parks. They're hiding out across the hotels, and they're waiting for you to come check them out. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog, and the stars of today's video are none other than Disney's hotel restaurants, which I consider as the best dining across the Disney World bubble. Hard stop. We're going to be rolling out the red carpet for the top 10 restaurants featured across all the Disney World hotels. By the way, if you want to see an actual ranking of best restaurants across all the Disney World parks, hotels, and Disney Springs, go ahead and scan the QR code you see on the screen now, or head to disneyfoodblog.com/top restaurants, and we'll send you our top 10 ranked restaurants across each of the parks, Disney Springs, and brand new to this free guide, the resort restaurants too. Okay, let's get into our top 10 restaurants in the hotels at Disney World. Now, this isn't a ranking. We're just sharing the ones we love the most. But again, if you want to see the ranking, then grab that free guide. All right, we're starting today with Scat Cat's Club and Lounge over at Port Orleans French Quarter. Are you surprised, or did you already know the sweet, sweet smell of beignets would entice the DFB team and me to add Scat Cat's Club Lounge to this top 10 list? Port Orleans French Quarter might not have a lot of options when it comes to dining, but Scat Cat's definitely helps make up for that, and it makes this resort a destination. This New Orleans-style lounge features lots of Southern-inspired specialty bites and spirits like pimento cheese fritters, Cajun peel and eat shrimp, and dewy nachos, and a lot more. But one of my favorite items to pick up here is the Baton Rouge beignets. These are 2 beignets jazzed up with your choice of Bailey's Irish Cream liqueur, Kahlua liqueur, or rum chata liqueur. Now, don't confuse Scat Cat's Club Lounge with Scat Cat's Club Cafe. The cafe is right next door and has even more beignet options to choose from. And while the cafe is open all day long, the lounge opens at 5 p.m. daily. But if you come here around 7:30 p.m. on a Friday or Saturday, not only will you be able to drink Southern spirits and eat Southern food, but you'll also be serenaded by the sweet sounds of live Southern jazz music. Now, heads up that I'm also going to be heading to Sassagoula Floatworks and Food Factory next door to get some jambalaya and cornbread. I love that stuff, but that's just me, but just wanted to throw that in here as a little bonus add-on. Next on our list, Three Bridges Bar and Grill at Coronado Springs Resort. So Three Bridges is the place where you'll want to go to get the best of both worlds. Its setting on the water and dangling fairy lights gives this restaurant more of a romantic/high-class feel, but the laid-back open-air dining room and menu of Spanish-inspired bar, food, and cocktails prevent this place from feeling stuffy. Now, note that it is all outdoors. It is covered, but all outdoors, so heads up on that as you're making plans. There are a lot of tasty options to choose from here, from the white queso dip appetizer to the steak frites to the sangria flight that features all 4 of the house-made sangrias for $23. And speaking of sangrias, if you want to learn how to make your own sangrias from scratch to impress your friends and family, Three Bridges also offers a premium Sangria University experience on Saturdays and Sundays in the afternoon. And this gives you the chance to taste and create and learn about all the sangrias Three Bridges is so well known for, as well as make your very own bespoke sangria. While you do have to make advance reservations for Sangria University, you do not have to make reservations for the Three Bridges restaurant itself. The restaurant opens at 4:30 p.m. daily and typically stays open until midnight. Just as soon as the restaurant opens up, head over to the host stand at the front of the restaurant to add your name to the wait list. This is also one of several hotel restaurants that has a to-go option. So if you arrive at the restaurant and the wait list is already booked solid, or you'd rather order your food and pick it up to take back to your room, then you can instead place your Three Bridges order on the My Disney Experience app. Note that mobile ordering food from a sit-down hotel restaurant does not mean it becomes a quick service experience. It's still going to take the kitchen some time to prepare your food fresh, so expect a wait time on your order, much like the wait times you'd experience in the main dining room. Now, we waited and waited and waited for this one to finally open over at the Boardwalk Inn, but was it worth the wait? Well, considering we're featuring it on a top 10 Disney hotel restaurants video, yeah, I'd say it was. What I love most about the Cake Bake Shop, aside from its ornate and opulent dining room and glittery dragon mascot Brulee, is how versatile this place is. Yes, it's pricey, that is the elephant in the room, but you can also choose to spend as much or as little as you want to. At the Cake Bake Shop, you can eat in the main dining room for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, stop by the champagne bar for a sparkling bubbly beverage, book the Roses of Gold afternoon tea experience, it's $95 per adult, and even choose the most affordable route and pick up a pastry to go from the quick service bakery. There are so many things to choose from here, both sweet and savory. For breakfast, you can order crumb cakes and eggs Benedict and quiches and giant fluffy waffles and French toasts and pancake platters. For lunch and dinner, you can order stuff like gumbo poutine, chicken velvet soup, which is one of my personal favorites, decadent sandwiches, or you can get a choose two option, which comes with your choice of 2 half portions of sandwiches, salads, or soups. But of course, the name of the game here is cakes, and while they may be some of the most expensive cakes you're going to find on property, they're also going to be some of the best. No matter what you choose to order, from apps to entrees to drinks to desserts, there's like a 90% chance it's going to be coated in edible glitter. So fair warning for all of you who are not thrilled with the concept of chowing down on pixie dust. Which is not a problem for me. It's not something you can taste, and it's definitely not something that you can feel texturally, so that's fine. Stick a little sparkle on the food, I don't care. By the way, the thing I'm always going to get here every single time is that killer peanut butter pie. It is so good. Now, if you eat in the restaurant, you get an actual slice of their peanut butter pie. If you pick it up from the bakery next door, you're going to kind of like a little round circle of peanut butter pie, like a self-contained little tiny pie. So just giving you a heads up on that. They're both delicious. Next on our list, of course, is California Grill at Contemporary Resort. Now, this is probably one of the restaurants many of you expected to see on this list, right? We've seen Cali Grill change a lot over the years, and yet here it is, still on our top 10 hotel restaurants list. California Grill is a signature restaurant situated on the 15th floor of the Contemporary Resort, which is very high up. So high, in fact, that whenever Magic Kingdom's Nighttime Spectacular starts up in the evening, you're going to be able to clearly see the fireworks go off over Cinderella Castle from the restaurant's vantage point, either from the comfort of your window seat or from the restaurant's private outdoor balcony, whichever one gets you the better view. Now, dining reservations around fireworks time book up super quickly for this restaurant, but if you manage to grab a reservation earlier on in the evening, you can always return right before the spectacular begins, showing the California Grill hosts your same-day receipt, and they'll let you back up to the restaurant so you can still enjoy the advantage of that private balcony. Yep, as long as you have a receipt saying that you ate there that night, you can go ahead and be on the private balcony for the show. Recently, California Grill switched up its prix-fixe menu in honor of its 30-year anniversary. So from now until May 2026, you can choose classic California Grill items from way back in the day, including the Sonoma goat cheese ravioli, which is, of course, a classic DFB favorite that we've missed a ton, grilled pork tenderloin, blueberry goat cheese cheesecake, and the Monterey signature cocktail made with rum, liqueurs, pineapple juice, and house-made sour mix. Now, I love going to California Grill at sunset. I love to see the sunset kind of over the Grand Floridian, and then I just come back for the fireworks later. Next up is Sanaa at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Now, Sanaa is Swahili for work of art, which is what you're going to see throughout this restaurant, from its dining room setting to its menu full of African and Indian cuisine, made with authentic cooking methods like slow roasting and tandoori oven cooking. During lunch and dinner, you're going to get the full table service experience here, where you can order options like the Indian-style bread service with 5 breads and 9 accompaniments. That's one of our favorite things that never lets us down. And the Zanzibari curry, the samosas, the grilled lamb loin, and tons more on the list. However, if you're here around breakfast time, the restaurant transforms from being a traditional sit-down meal to more of a quick service where you can pick up fast-style entrees, including the short rib hash, the banana bread French toast, and the plant-based breakfast power bowl. Now, if we had to pick whether to eat at Sanaa during lunch or dinner, I would highly recommend lunch instead, and that's because throughout most of the year, that's going to be when you're going to have a better chance of requesting a table that's next to one of the many windows that look out across the resort's personal savanna. And you're actually going to be able to see the animals. Let me clarify that. Depending on how quickly the sun sets around the time you're visiting, you might not be able to see the animals very much when it's pitch black out because it's light in the restaurant. All you're going to see is your face reflecting, right? But during lunch, it should be nice and bright out and the animals should be more active so you can watch them roam the grounds while you dine. So my tip is always to go right when lunch begins and request that window seat so you have more chance of actually getting one. Now, just throwing this out there, I'm not necessarily saying that Hoopdoo Musical Review is a best restaurant for its food. Don't get me wrong, I like it well enough. It's comfort food. All you care to enjoy, fried chicken, cornbread crusted mac and cheese, strawberry shortcake. It's never going to be something I turn down. Plus, for those who are 21 and over, you'll also be able to get unlimited refills of select beers and wines and sangrias. So now it's a party. But for that $70 to $78 per adult price point, the food here is not solely what you're coming for, especially since there are several other Disney restaurants around property that do all-you-can-eat comfort food a whole lot better, like Liberty Tree Tavern in Magic Kingdom and Garden Grill in Epcot. Nope, the reason you're paying that steep price for this restaurant is for the entertainment aspect, because Hoopdoo Musical Review is the only remaining theater-style dining experience left in Disney World at the moment. Throughout dinner, you'll join the Pioneer Players for 2 full hours of music, dancing, and a whole lot of laughs. You might even get a chance to be part of the show yourself if you're one of the lucky few. Pricing is determined by what category you choose to sit in. So category 1 is the most expensive, $78, and will put you down on the main floor with an up-close look at the stage. Category 2 is a few dollars cheaper, $74, and will put you toward the back of the room or to the sides. Category 3 is the most affordable option. It's $70, and it puts you in the balcony on either the left or the right-hand side of the stage. The more you pay, the better your view. So if you're going to go ahead and splurge on a meal here anyways, you might want to save up for the higher category seating. The pricing isn't that different after all. It's also important to note that Category 3 is not wheelchair accessible because there's no elevator access up to the balcony. So if you or someone in your group has mobility concerns, you'll want to book your table for the main floor. Hoopdoo might be the only dinner show in all of Disney World, but Trader Sam's Grotto at the Polynesian Village Resort is the only enchanted bar in all of Disney World. At least for now, that is, because when Beacon Barrel finally opens a little bit later on this year in Magic Kingdom, then it might have some competition on its hands. But that's a topic for another day, so let's keep our sights on the Grotto for now. Trader Sam's Grotto might be a small indoor bar, but it's mighty in the entertainment department. Depending on what boozy beverage you order will determine how things play out during your time in this tropical hideaway. So one drink might cause a volcano eruption. That one's my favorite, by the way. It's called the Krakatoa. Another drink might cause a zombie invasion. A different drink, other than that, might cause a ghostly haunting. And you might even rile up an enchanted tiki goddess who's looming overhead. Much like Three Bridges, Trader Sam's also doesn't take advanced dining reservations. Instead, you'll have to make your way over to the bar, ideally before it opens at 3 p.m. so you can put your name on the walk-up wait list as soon as it goes live. If the main reason you're wanting to come to Disney World is to try a meal that has the prestige you're not going to find at any other theme park in the United States, or really probably around the world, then you're going to want to save up for a meal at Victoria and Albert's. With its AAA 5-diamond rating, its Michelin star, Victoria and Albert's is one of the 3 most critically acclaimed restaurants in Florida. It's in the top 25 highest placed American restaurants on the La Liste list. Like I said, there's really no other theme park restaurant that competes. Victoria and Albert's is basically 3 restaurants in one because you can choose from one of 3 rooms that'll give you a different experience and price point depending on what you select. The dining room is going to be your least expensive option, but if this tells you anything, that's still going to put you back $295 plus per person. Yeah. This experience is for the real food lovers, y'all. Don't be coming here looking for chicken tendies and Mickey waffles. The dining room features a chef's tasting menu with several courses to look forward to, and by several, I mean like 8 to 10 that change up pretty regularly depending on what's fresh and in season. Don't worry, the portions for each item are pretty bite-sized since this is more about tasting a variety of the highest quality food instead of focusing on one heavy entree. Queen Victoria's room is a more secluded option where you'll also enjoy the chef's tasting menu along with a slightly expensive expanded list of offerings and even more courses to taste. This option starts at $375 per person. And finally, there's the most expensive and exclusive option, the Chef's Table, where you'll dine on a special menu catered specifically around your tastes and preferences and hopes and dreams. But one of the coolest parts about dining at the Chef's Table is that you'll have a table with a front row view of the kitchen. So you can watch as your meal is prepared in front of you in real time, and you'll have a chance to chit-chat with the chefs responsible for crafting your menu for the evening. But be prepared to fork over $425 for this one-of-a-kind dining experience. No matter which reservations you choose to book, be mindful of the dress code, which requests you wear semi-formal or formal attire. Dudes have to wear jackets here. And be mindful of the age restrictions, since this dining experience is only for guests ages 10 and up. If I had a wishing well in my backyard right now, I would wish for a teleportation device to transport me to the Wilderness Lodge so I can have a nice dinner at Storybook Dining. I'd also wish for a Buc-ee's closer to my house, but that's neither here nor there. Storybook Dining at Artist Point is a prefix character dining experience set inside an enchanted forest atmosphere. During your meal, you're going to be able to meet Snow White, as the name of the restaurant suggests, as well as Dopey and Grumpy and the Evil Queen herself. By the way, who do you think the bigger diva is, the Evil Queen or Grumpy? Because it's hard to tell when you're at this restaurant. Let me know in the comments. So Storybook Dining is pricey, and yes, reservations book up pretty quickly for this one since it's only open during dinner. But if you do save for this experience and you do manage to book a table here, you're not only going to get a stunning setting and a great rare character interaction, but you're also going to get really good fairy tale themed food, like the smoky mushroom bisque served in a little cauldron, the royal prime rib roast, a stroll through nature gnocchi, and some of the coolest looking desserts around, including the miner's treasures, made with cookies and cream panna cotta plus chocolate gems, the poison apple made with chocolate mousse and a sour center, and the fairy tale gooseberry tart. Now, I always recommend getting the prime rib here because it is served with the biggest Yorkshire pudding you've ever seen in your life. It is truly impressive. Now, listen, this one has a caveat, okay? Topolino's Terrace at Riviera. I think that Topolino's Terrace is a top 10 Disney World restaurant, but only for breakfast. Why is that? A couple of reasons. Topolino's is an Italian rooftop restaurant with two very distinct dining experiences for breakfast and dinner. Dinner is more of a fancy schmancy setup featuring lots of Mediterranean-inspired dishes like gnocchi and sea scallops and oysters and tiramisu and stuff. So you're definitely not going to have a bad experience here during dinner, especially if you plan your visit around the Epcot fireworks, since the restaurant's outdoor patio will give you a nice view of the show. But if you book dinner instead of breakfast, you'll be missing out on Topolino's morning offering, which is breakfast a la art with Mickey and friends. During this breakfast, you're going to see some of the cutest outfits that the characters wear because they're all inspired by different artists, from painting to poetry to dance to architecture. Not only that, but Topolino's offers one of the most unique prefix breakfasts around, with options like sour cream waffles and wood-fired steak and eggs and the French toast bread pudding topped with seasonal compote. And every table will also receive an assortment of fresh pastries and bread served in a basket made to look like a paint bucket. So it's very, very cute. Something else I really love about this restaurant is that the tables are pretty well spaced out, so you don't feel like you're sitting on top of, your fellow diners, and the characters have enough room to kind of move around and really spend time with you. So I really dig that about this restaurant. It just feels a little bit calmer and a little more upscale than a lot of other character meals. So if that's the vibe you're going for, this is a good choice. Now, here's an extra tip for you pulled straight out of the hotel portion of the DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining. And if you've already got the guide, scroll down to page 91 to find this one. If you don't, that's okay. This sneaky dining tip will be a freebie today. But if you want to learn more dining tips for more of the restaurants, you can pick up this digital companion, or DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining, over at dfbstore.com. Now, if you're using the standard Disney dining plan, breakfast at Topolino's will cost you 1 table service credit, which is a huge deal. However, if you dine here during dinner, it's going to cost you 2. That's 2 credits and no fun artsy characters or unique breakfast options. Sure, you'll have more of the date night vibes going on and the potential of seeing the Epcot fireworks, but it'd be more affordable for you to pay for your dinner here out of pocket, especially when you consider that 1 adult table service credit is basically the equivalent of $64. So you'd technically be paying over $128 per adult for a dinner that could have easily cost half of that, if not less, if you were to pay out of pocket. Now, we've made it to our honorable mentions section because you know that I can't ever do a top 10 without talking about a bunch of stuff that I wish I could have put into the top 10, right? Okay, so I do want to go ahead and give some quick shout outs to the honorable mentions that would have definitely been included in this video if it was a top 15 list instead. Starting off with literally all the other Animal Kingdom Lodge restaurants. Seriously, you are not going to find a bad meal at this resort, and we had a really hard time kind of singling out Sanaa to be on our list and not including Boma and Jiko and Mara, right? Whether you book a breakfast at Boma or plan a romantic night out at Jiko or grab something quick from the Mara, Animal Kingdom Lodge is just exploding with good, unique food that's going to cater to the more adventurous dining spirits, as well as those who want to play on the safer side of the flavor spectrum. Okay, next honorable mention. If you're looking for a retro or beachy diner style experience with a large menu of over-the-top sundaes and shakes, then Beaches and Cream over at the Beach Club Resort is going to deserve your undivided attention. This table service is fun and nostalgic and won't force you to break the bank on lunch or dinner. And while California Grill stole the show over at the Contemporary today, I will admit that I find myself over at Steakhouse 71 a whole lot more frequently for its more affordable steakhouse cuts and juicy stack burger and classic appetizers like the bacon and eggs that I used to get even back when this restaurant was the wave. And we talked about a very, very, very bougie and expensive place to dine at the Grand Floridian, but not all the dining experiences at this deluxe resort are going to be pricey enough to make your monthly rent or mortgage payment look tame in comparison. Grand Floridian is also home to the Gasparilla Island Grill quick service, which is where you're going to find my favorite mac and cheese anywhere on property, as well as the Enchanted Rose Lounge, themed after the live-action Beauty and the Beast film, and the Grand Floridian Cafe, where you can find brunch all week long. Speaking of more affordable dining options at a deluxe resort, if you want to skip the character dining experience at Wilderness Lodge but still get that great outdoors atmosphere, head to Geyser Point Bar and Grill. This is an open-air restaurant that serves great burgers, margarita flights, flatbreads, and more until 10 p.m. daily. Now I know, I'm kind of in lounge and bar mode now, which is a major hint, but since we're still shouting out honorable mentions, I want to give a regal golf clap to Dahlia Lounge over at Gran Destino Tower at Coronado Springs for its rooftop views and artistic atmosphere, upscale tapas, and specialty cocktails. I really think this place is a hidden gem, and I'm always shocked when it's not packed. Wailulu Bar and Grill also recently went up on my radar over at the new Island Tower at Polynesian Village Resort for its gorgeous beachside views and one of the best Disney burgers I've ever had. Thank you, Wayfinder Burger, for opening my eyes. In the past, Ohana's All You Care to Enjoy Hawaiian Eats and Grilled Meats would have easily made our top 10 hotel restaurants list, but per our recent reviews and viewer feedback, it seems like this restaurant maybe isn't quite in its prime like it used to be. Regardless, I still want to give it a shout out because hopefully it'll rediscover its footing again, since it really has provided us with a lot of great meals and Ohana noodles over the last years. And finally, while this might be cheating because it's a restaurant that hasn't opened up just yet, I am very excited to try the Swan and Dolphin's newest restaurant, Bourbon Steak, when it opens up later this summer. Bourbon Steak is being created by Chef Michael Mina, who is a well-known multi-Michelin star chef with restaurants all over the country. And Chef Mina is going to be taking the former Shula's Steakhouse over and reimagining it to become a modern take on the quintessential American steakhouse. Here, you're going to be able to order premium cuts of beef and seafood infused with global flavors, along with signature desserts and beverage offerings. Now, even though Bourbon Steak isn't open just yet in Disney World, we kind of cheated and visited the restaurant location that's already open in Dana Point, California. So if you want to read our review of that Bourbon Steak restaurant to get an idea of what to expect for the version coming to Swan and Dolphin, I'll go ahead and link our review down in the description below. Now, if you've been to Disney World before, tell me which Disney hotel restaurant is your favorite that you've been to. Let us know in the comments. That way, those who are about to visit Disney for the first time or maybe haven't been to all of the hotels can have an even bigger list of dining recs to choose from. And don't forget to pick up our free Top Restaurants guide if you want to see where today's hotel restaurants really rank from good to best over at disneyfoodblog.com/top-restaurants. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.